Why do we watch SmackDown? Well, most of the time it's for great promo segments, angles, things like that, big stars. We got that this time, but the focus here really seemed to be on some solid matches with a really hot crowd. Oh, yeah, and the tag team titles changed hands. These are my assorted thoughts on the December 6th, 2024 WWE Smackdown. Welcome to Silo Voice Wrestling on YouTube and the Silo Voice Wrestling podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Jason C. McLean. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications to get all my wrestling hot takes, cold takes, simmering takes, wrestling opinion pieces, WWE Premium Live Event prediction videos, and review videos like my just recent review of Survivor Series War Games, and of course, assorted thoughts on Raw and SmackDown. Now, I'm recording this in the early hours of the 7th of December 2024, so just after SmackDown. I think this is the soonest after a show that I've recorded one of these, so we'll see how it goes. SmackDown was in the Target Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I normally don't mention the location unless it sort of comes out, but it actually played a big part. And from what I understand, it was very cold and snowy. I think there's maybe a snowstorm that hit the American Midwest. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. So let's get right into it. I love how over Tiffany Stratton was. Sure, she's from Prior Lake, Minnesota, and she got a hometown welcome. But there was another person from Minneapolis on the same show. It was also a heel that didn't get nearly as warm a reception. Honestly, Stratton's a tweener at this point. I think she's going to make a solid babyface turn if she ultimately cashes in the briefcase on Nia. But the crowd was definitely behind her, and she had put on a great match. So did Naomi and Elektra Lopez. A lot of high spots, as you'd expect. A lot of acrobatics, gymnastics. Typical great match with these people. You wouldn't have thought it would be anything different. And Stratton eventually hit the prettiest moonsault ever, really impressively. On Lopez, got the 1, 2, 3. A really exciting first match for the show, and I love to see Stratton getting that hometown support. Also cool to see Jesse Ventura in the crowd. Now the former announcer and former governor, former Navy SEAL, former, I think, former a lot of things, but Jesse the Body Ventura, I love that they confirmed that he's going to be part of the broadcast team for Saturday night's main event. I hope this means he's actually going to be the play-by-play guy. That would be amazing. Maybe he's sitting in the crowd to sort of refresh his memory or basically inform himself of the current talent running. There's a video of him pleasantly having a conversation with CM Punk before revealing he didn't really know who he was. But I think he's definitely been refreshing himself on the talent. Good to see him in the crowd. Looking forward to his announcing, hopefully, on Saturday night's main event. The finish of the Bianca Belair Piper Niven match was incredible. If you didn't see it, honestly, go watch this match. It was fun. They set it up backstage with a little bit with Chelsea Green getting in Bianca's face. After several attempts to lift up Piper Niven that failed, Chelsea Green tries to interfere. Bianca takes out Chelsea, puts her in the center of the ring, lifts up Piper, which is not an easy feat. This is kind of like Hogan Andre. Andre wasn't really 500 pounds, by the way. Brings Piper over KOD style and drops her on top of Chelsea Green. She rolls off and then she gets the pin. That was great. This was a really fun match. This is awesome, Chance. I was loving the focus on the matches on the SmackDown. The women's matches in particular were really high energy. Like, I guess, continuing after War Games, the energy of that, they just wanted to get some more out. I thought maybe Piper would get a win here because Bianca just got a win in War Games, but no. It made sense, Bianca winning, not stealing one, and that ending spot was just wow. The subtext to all this, though, is who attacked Jade Cargill? It was sort of a mini through line for the show. Bianca Belair trying to figure out who did it, and even accusing Piper Niven at one point, and then later getting confirmed that Piper was in the gorilla position. And Naomi saying, yeah, we're going to find her, but they're really setting up Naomi as a possible suspect here. Bianca doesn't think she's a suspect yet, too, but they're kind of telegraphing that to the audience. I don't think it's going to be Naomi who did it. Maybe I'll do a whole video on who attacked Jade Cargill. That would actually be a very interesting subject for one. Maybe my wrestling opinion video. But for now, they're definitely slowly starting to point the finger at Naomi. Shinsuke Nakamura had an amazing entrance again. I fully expected to see him. I also fully expected LA Knight to interrupt him, demand a rematch. It happened a bit quicker than I thought it would, but it did. Even Andrade interrupting felt par for the course, but I was not expecting the New Bloodline to show up. I mean, I fully expected them to be on this show. In fact, we all knew they were there. There was a segment at the beginning of them coming through security, Solo sort of bumping the line on Apollo Crews, and then Jacob Fatu taking out Crews. I just didn't expect them to be part of this segment. I don't think they're mixing in with LA Knight, Andrade, Shinsuke, but I think they're just sort of making a point that they're running roughshod on everything. And of course, it gave Solo a chance to do his acknowledge me. And with a crowd this hot, they got so many boos. Solo got booed down. It was wonderful. I also really liked how they didn't end up attacking Shinsuke. Possibly because he had, I guess, the stuff for the mist in his mouth. He was probably going to use it, and it sort of dripped out. It looked like he was drooling blood all of a sudden. If I was Solo, I was like, maybe we don't mess with that guy right now. We're making our point. We're just taking out people. And I even wondered, maybe they were the ones who took out the Street Profits. See, the Street Profits were supposed to be in the Tag Team Championship match, taking on the Motor City Machine Guns tonight, but they were both taken out backstage. I was like, maybe it was the Bloodline. But of course, the more logical answer would be it was Tommaso Ciampa. But no, I think it was Johnny Gargano. When Gargano spoke with Ciampa saying he got the championship match, the fact that Ciampa seemed to have just arrived, it led me to believe that maybe Gargano attacked them so they could get the championship match and maybe was going to turn heel. They played it really well for a lot of the match. It looked like they were just going to break up. And Ciampa was just sort of like, bullying Gargano, like, come on, you got to do it this way. You got to be brutal. You got to be a heel, basically giving him lessons on how to be a heel in order to win. And it didn't seem like it had taken until Gargano gave a low blow to Chris Sabin after attacking his other former friend, Alex Shelley. He smiled as he tagged Ciampa. They did the meet in the middle, 1, 2, 3, and new WWE Tag Team Champions, DIY. Now, when the heel turn happened in the match, I was like, wait, are they winning the titles? It looked like they would, but up until this point, I was not thinking they were going to fully turn heel and win the titles because of it. I thought maybe they were going to turn heel and chase or something, or maybe Gargano was going to leave and Ciampa would just be a single star as a heel. But no, it actually makes perfect sense. They turn heel, they win the titles, and now the Motor City Machine Guns and I guess the Street Profits are chasing. The tag team scene on SmackDown is now really interesting. We're getting to know the teams a bit more. I'm caring about what happened. I wasn't interested in this scene a few months ago, and I'm still not interested in the Raw scene until, even though the New Day are heels, which could be great, until Balor and McDonough lose those titles. I don't really care. But no, SmackDown's doing it right. I'm into this scene, and I kind of like this new heel DIY. Let's see where it goes. I was pleasantly surprised when Chad Gable and the rest of American Made interrupted Cody Rhodes. Of course, it made perfect sense. Gable's from Minneapolis, and even though he's from there, he's the hometown guy. He definitely was not the babyface, made a point of clarifying his heel status, insulted the crowd, so they're not very bright, people from this part of the world. It was a good exchange with Cody. Cody brought up Shorty G. Gable brought up, and actually Cody brought up Stardust himself as well too. Some good back and forth by two very experienced promo people. My other takeaway from this is they're doing this whole exchange thing. I think they're completely changing the alignment before the Raw starts on Netflix. It's going to be interesting to see where people went throughout the show. We saw these different people from Raw come in, interview with Nick Aldis. I guess we're going to get the same thing with Adam Pearce on Raw. So that's very interesting. I think a little bit of a shakeup could be nice. The champions are probably staying. I don't think Gunther's actually going to SmackDown, but who knows? I think Roman's actually going to end up on Raw, and The Rock will join him there maybe. We'll see where that goes. But yeah, back to the whole Cody thing. I was excited when I found out there was going to be a Cody Rhodes Chad Gable match at the end of the show. The match itself did not disappoint. The in-ring work was excellent, as you might expect from both of these people. Gable with his suplexes, Cody with his moves, but also the in-ring storytelling. I loved at the end of the match, Gable actually ripped off one of Cody's boots, and I think it was Corey Graves on commentary who said, yeah, the wrestling boot, it protects things like a hurt ankle. And then he started working on the ankle, like on the exposed ankle. And that's some setting up for Saturday night's main event, even though he's not the opponent. Wasn't the title match. I don't think anybody thought Gable was going to win. Obviously, Cody sneaked out a victory, but the damage was done. Perfect for Kevin Owens to exploit. And speaking of Kevin Owens, his segments continue to be incredible. Tonight's, of course, was no exception. Even the setup where he demanded Michael Cole come to his car and he dissed the local crowd. And Michael Cole interviewing him in his car. I thought he was actually going to drive off with Cole, like not actually hurt him or anything, but, go through a drive-through, order some food, chat. But no, it was great. KO was in perfect, justified heel character, but Cole was bringing out his the flaws in his logic. I love the part when Cole tells him to look in the mirror and he looks in the car mirror. He's like, yeah, what am I supposed to see? But of course, the big takeaway from this is the fact that Cole brought up the Usos, and who also helped join with Roman and Sami Zayn. He dismissed the Usos, but said Sami Zayn, we're going to cross that when we come to it. So yeah, I think we might actually get KO Sami Zayn at WrestleMania. I'm sure they're both going to love doing that. Those guys either fight each other or tag with each other, but to fight each other in a decently placed match at WrestleMania, that's going to be incredible. Even if it's like a tag with other people, looking forward to it. Yet again, a great segment. But of course, Kevin Owens would return after the Chad Gable match to attack Cody Rhodes, put pressure on the exposed ankle. The simple fact that he drove away and then showed back up, that's a heel move. And the fact that he purposely exploited an injury, that's something he refused to do as a babyface. Cody even pointed it out. He's pulling the trigger, as they say. They fought off, and this was an excellent, exciting end to, I think, a really great episode of SmackDown with a lot of great in-ring action and a really hot Minnesota crowd on a cold night in Minneapolis. And these were my assorted thoughts on the December 6th, 2024 WWE Smackdown. So do you agree with me? Do you agree with some of it? All of it? Are you excited for Saturday night's main event? Do you think I should do that video on who attacked Jade Cargill? Let me know in the comments. Follow at Silo Voice Wrestling on Facebook and Instagram, at Silo Wrestling on X, and me at Jason C. McLean on X and Instagram. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications. And if you want to put your theories on who attacked Jade Cargill in the comments too, you can do that. But of course, I'm probably going to do a whole other video about that. It might be more useful there. Anyways, I'll be back with my assorted thoughts on Raw. If you haven't already, check out my full review of Survivor Series War Games, and I'll catch you next time. For Silo Voice Studios in Montreal, I'm Jason C. McLean.